divorce is not failure. Society's conditioning of women has caused us to casually and quietly accept what we've been told to do: get married, have babies. And I'm so proud of this new generation of women that have started realizing that there's life outside of societal norms. A life outside the precepts we are taught would make us whole. I talk about this a lot because I would never forget how I felt before my divorce. Must I talk about this? No. But the women who need to hear this are the younger generation. They need to be able to make the decision for themselves whether or not they want to go down the path for themselves. I remember a couple of years ago, I was on Clubhouse. I had been isolated, so isolated that I had been looking for a sense of community. There was a Clubhouse room where I heard a young woman talking about how she was actually happy to be divorced. At that time, I was married and I automatically had a thought. Wow, I can't imagine why someone would want to be divorced. At that time, I didn't even know the journey I was about to embark on. She had mentioned she had one child. Something about the way she spoke led me to realize that she seemed extremely at peace. Something in me stirred, like I may have an escape from the life I was currently living. From the outside, I had a nice apartment. I could afford simple everyday luxuries, and my children were well dressed. We looked like a perfect family. We got compliments everywhere we went, and people admired us. We were role models to the younger generation, but on the inside, I have several voice notes that I listen to sometimes that serve as a constant reminder of words that were said, but not by the person who I thought loved me. Words that felt so familiar that I had no idea that they weren't normal. You see, people only pay attention when abuse gets physical. They only see wounds as long as it's in the present reality. The truth is, words have a way of diminishing the way you view yourself, and coming from a lover chips your self-esteem more and more. Your view on love becomes distorted, and to you, love looks like it's meant to be tough, like you're meant to struggle. My first ever tattoo I got is on my left hand. I got this tattoo at a time that's what my soul yearned for. I realized through my marriage I was losing the thing I craved the most: autonomy. I didn't realize that after my children, I had had an awakening and it caused me to see life differently. Life became different. Life became real. I asked myself tough questions, questions that I had been afraid to ask because I wasn't sure what path the answers may lead. I had started going to therapy and realizing the difference between healing and living in denial. I had started owning my decisions and taking accountability in the situations I had put myself in without remorse. That's when it hit me. I wasn't perfect. I had flaws, but I deserved to be treated as human. I deserved to be treated in a way that made me feel human. I didn't deserve contempt, words spoken out of anger that couldn't be taken back, the shame that I was working too much and not prioritizing my relationship. I finally started seeing myself and looking at what my life was. A lie I had told myself about where I thought I was supposed to be. I was unhappy. I was deeply upset for some time at myself for forcing something that was never meant to be, just because I didn't want to be alone. Just because I didn't want to fail at a relationship. Just because I wanted to get something right. But it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay. My life has never been the same since my divorce, and I grieve that version of me so much. The version of me that was naive. The version of me that thought love was all that was needed for a relationship to work. That having children would prove my worth. I've built a different life now with me in the driver's seat, and while for a while it was hard, I blamed myself. I realized at the end of the day that everything I went through made me who I am, and I love who I'm becoming. I have more empathy now, but I also have more boundaries. I have less friends now, but I have more family. I'm living in the most authentic version of myself and chasing my purpose without fear, shame, or guilt. And I wouldn't have been able to do any of that if I hadn't gotten a divorce. Having a divorce is a choice. It's choosing yourself and your future. It's choosing that my children don't have to live in a home where they would have to constantly question if mommy was okay. A home where laughter is encouraged and even reprimand is met with grace. A home where self-care becomes a priority and even children understand their emotions. It's not a perfect home, but it's a home that I won't regret building alone. Because my home is thriving because I exist. My son, who has autism, has made so much progress in the past couple of years, and my daughter, who's my second best friend, is the smartest, most fun-loving little girl. I'm proud of the decision I made because it brought me back to a healthier version of myself. I'm still growing every day, but I can't wait to see what the next couple of years bring. I've also traveled more. I've done the things that I've always wanted to do without remorse. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Now I have experience. I know what I'm looking for, and I'm quick to walk away from anything that doesn't serve me.